Great day. Hello, Jerisha Hawk here. I am a high-ticket sales coach and digital business consultant, helping experts like you take the skills you already have and package that into a high-ticket service that you can sell consistently. Welcome to the Hawk Hustle Morning Show. We do this Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. And today we're going to be talking about how your credibility is the new currency. I think back in the day, as individuals were starting a business, growing a business, before the internet existed, advertising and sales, I think, was predominantly dependent on your charisma. How much people just liked you, or just how much of your personality. I think a lot of the time people have heard that if you are extroverted, like that's what will set you up to be successful, like that, those types of things. And I think back in the day, like again, before the internet existed, there was a lot of marketing efforts that, I think a lot of the big brands would just kind of like jam pack. They would just hit you hard enough, long enough until you bought their thing or bought their product. And the consumer really wasn't informed or educated. Like we just believed whatever the brands and the big companies told us. Versus in today's world where the internet exists, the consumer is way smarter and we are way savvier than we used to be. And getting sold based off of somebody's charisma no longer works anymore. The consumer now is informed. We are doing our research. We have opinions about the values behind these brands, the ingredients that they use, the quality of the service that they deliver. And, as we're moving into as we are in this digital age, and as you are a business owner looking to sell your services consistently, you have got to learn and understand that credibility is the new currency. And I wanted to talk about what that means, what that looks like for you as a business owner, and really what's required for you to be successful today and moving forward. It's not just about having the cute logo or the pretty website or being the loudest with making the most noise. It's really about how are you building human to human connection and how are you establishing your credibility. And that's going to be the thing that allows you to make consistent sales. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I see a bunch of you guys popping online right now. Feel free to hop in the comments and say, hey. I see Kyra, Monique is on, Patty Cake is on, Astra's on, the Eve brand, Monica, Candy, James, whoops, Simon. I keep flipping the screen over. Hey, Brenda. So that's what I'm sorry, guys. So that's what I want us to talk about today, is how credibility is the new currency. And last week on the show, we were talking a lot about, or on Friday, I was talking about the importance of, we talk a lot about selling, right? Selling is important in your business. You need to know how to make money. And I think we have enough episodes about how to go out there and get sales, and there's tons of resources for you about how to go out there and get sales that we already have. And I want us to elevate our conversation to start talking about what to do after the sale and what type of integrity you need to be operating in as a business owner. Because there's a lot of coaches, consultants, courses, all of that teaches you like just go get the money, go get the sale, and focusing on that first, trigger point, which is important, but just realize that getting the sale is just the beginning of the relationship. That's not the end goal. That is the first step. So I want us to talk about breaking out that framework and what building credibility into your sales process looks like, and how that is really going to be of best service for your business and for the clients that you ultimately are working with. So I'm reading a new book right now, and I love sharing you guys what I'm reading and how I'm interpreting it and all of that, because again, you should be a continuous learner, whether that's, I'm a big reader, I try to read a new book every few weeks. I'm really, really big on investing in coaching and being in group masterminds, because I think it's very important for you to be continuously learning as a business owner. But one of the things that I read in the book that I'm reading right now is, and the book is called Top of Mind by, I believe his name is John Hall. But the thing that he said is your brand isn't a logo or a product. And hear me when I say that. Your brand is not a logo or a product. So many people, and this is something that I think most of new students who join services that sell, they struggle with in the very beginning, is having to unbelieve that truth, or believe this truth that they've been telling themselves, that my brand is my logo in the service that I sell. So they get so fixated on coming up with this like overly sexy marketing jargon, trying to explain what it is that they do, completely missing the main point, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Your service and your brand, like your service, your logo is not your brand, right? So let me just read the full sentence. It says, your brand isn't a logo or a service. It's a distinct group of people united by a shared vision and values. You marketing connects the people behind your brand to the people whom your brand benefits. And I think this goes back to things I've always been saying about you need to not focus so much on what your service is. You need to focus on what problem you are solving. And kind of what John Hall is saying here is your brand isn't a logo or a service or a product. It's a distinct group of people united by a shared vision or values. And that's really going back to what we're talking about all the time with the POP method. You need to pick one person, pick one problem. Like, you need to have a niche specific audience that your service and your product caters to. And really, I think that, like I said, the hardest thing for many of our services that sell students, they will enroll in the program and they're so excited and so ready to start packaging their service and starting to sell. But because I think so much of what we see online is, you know, your product is the thing that's going to differentiate you, and your product is not the thing that will differentiate you. The problem that you solve and the process that you use to solve that problem is the thing that will differentiate you. But you need to be so crystal clear about what problem that you solve and the process that you deliver that solution, that it only attracts a specific group of people with shared vision, shared values, and a shared destination in mind. Like, let that sink in for a second. It is not about your brand or how pretty your logo is. And like, those things are caveats, right? You need to have a good product, but in order for you to have a good product, you need to have a really crystal clear problem that you are solving. Like, and people are like, well, Jay, I want to do coaching. I want to do a course. Which one do I do first? It's not a matter of which one you do first. It's just a matter of when you do them. Okay. And I really believe you don't need it's not an either or situation. It's just a matter of which one makes sense to do as the next step. If you have not yet figured out the unique process that you take a client through to deliver a result, or if you have not yet figured out who is my minimum viable audience, who is that specific group of people that have the shared values, shared vision that I'm solving a specific problem for, if you haven't got crystal clear on that, like if you're still struggling with not excluding everybody or trying to serve everybody and trying to include everybody or trying to make sure that everybody understands what it is that you do, we got to take several steps back and have several seats, because that's not the thing that's going to allow you to build credibility in your industry, which will allow you to generate more money, i.e. make, you know, the new currency, right? So I hope that that makes sense. And when you think about, I love the last part that you said, is that your marketing should be connecting the people behind your brand to people whom your brand benefits, right? So your brand should not be the goal to benefit every human being on this earth. If you're in, again, go back to understanding what season of business you're in. The number one thing that you need to prove as you're building your business, and if you haven't made six figures yet, you need to establish whether or not you can generate sales. Like, you need a proof of concept, and proof of concept means that people are willing to pay for the results that you deliver. But you want to be making sure that you understand, how does the problem that I solve, the problem that I solve with the skills that I already have, who does that of most benefit to? And that was the thing that will allow you to really establish who your target market should be and who your pop person is when I say pick one person. So it's really like, who does your problem truly benefit? And I was in services that sell yesterday, going back and forth with one of our clients offering feedback, and she offers CFO services to digital e-commerce boutique owners, right? And I think that's a very specific niche. Like, she's a CFO, a virtual CFO to e-commerce boutique owners. And I know we were going back and forth, like she was kind of getting jumbled, like trying to make it. She's like saying, well, Jay, not everybody's going to get that. Like not all digital business owners are going to understand that I'm not just an accountant or a bookkeeper, that I'm actually an asset to their team as a CFO. And like, then that means that they're not your ideal client. Like we have to stop trying to appeal to everybody in our industry, because your service is not for everybody. You need to be trying to attract the problem that you solve, the skills that you have, attract a very specific person that will benefit. And that is the target person that you should be going after versus trying to encompass everybody and their mama. Okay? Like, is this resonating? Is this making sense? And I'm giving you guys some background before we start really stepping into why is credibility the new currency. And so those are some things that are really, really important as a foundational, like lay the bricks type of thing that I want you to understand. That again, I love the way that he put it. Your brand isn't a logo or a product or service. It's a distinct group of people united by a shared vision and values. So shared vision means that if there's a very clear destination in mind of what success looks like, right? So somebody who comes to me, you know, this is why it's important for you to know who you serve and know who you don't serve. And this is what Services That Sell allows you to do. Like, you shouldn't be trying to figure these things out on your own. I think, you know, if you're making less than 6 figures a year, if you're making less than, if you're not making consistent 4 figures a month yet in your business, like there's some work that we need to do around this. And we have a proven method that will help you figure that out in our Services That Sell program. But you need to make sure that, you know, I said shared vision and shared values, meaning there's a shared vision, means there's a shared destination in mind of what success looks like. And you should not be trying to appeal to everybody's vision. And you should not be trying to open up your services where they're completely customizable and so custom tailored that the vision is different for every client that comes on board. Let that sink in. Like, you want to make sure that when somebody enrolls with you, this is why I think it's so important for you to establish a signature service, because this is the thing that really starts to allow you to build your credibility, versus being the person that, okay, Jay, I want to work with you. Can you help me grow my business? And I'm like, yep. And you're like, well, I want to build digital products. I can help you with that. Or I want to build one-on-one coaching. I can help you with that. Or I want to figure out how to use Facebook ads. Girl, I got you. I can help you with that. Like, if you're the one if you're the yes, ma'am, or the yes, sir, to every idea, and you said that I can help you do that with every client that comes your way, you're not showing yourself as a credible expert. Because a credible expert is going to say, you know, one, you're going to give guidance to help somebody understand why your methodology is the right methodology, but that also means that you stick to a very narrow road in regards to what your zone of genius is, what your area of expertise is, and what you're really credible in. But if you're the type of person who somebody comes to you and they want to work with you for your services, and you're just saying yes to everything under the sun, just to get the money, just to get the client, like, I don't think that that's sustainable. Do I think that it will work in the short term? Yes. Do I think that you can maybe make some money off of it? Yes. Do I think that you're going to be able to manage and sustain and actually scale that down the line? Absolutely not. Because it's not, you want to build your credibility around a signature framework that you're able to develop, and around a signature process that you were like, like a client came to me yesterday, or a prospect came to me yesterday saying, Jay, you know, I'm really interested in growing my coaching business. I want to grow my coaching business using tripwires, using complicated funnels, and using Facebook ads. And I was like, I hear you on that. We may not be the best fit for you, because Services That Sell and where I'm credible in, what I believe in, I want to work with people who have shared values on this, is individuals who want to flip the funnel, like individuals who want to sell high ticket out of the gate, individuals who want to leverage organic marketing strategies to get their first handful of clients so they can start generating consistent 4 figures a month. That is the complete opposite of the strategy that you want to implement. So I did some more digging, asked some more questions to make sure that we were aligned. But you have to be, you know, that shows that I'm credible, and it shows that I'm an expert, because I'm able to explain why my methodology works and who my methodology is best for. And based off of what season of business that she's in, she may not be a good fit. But if she is in the under 6-figure range, doesn't have a large audience range, it doesn't have money for Facebook ads range, then our methodology would be a good fit for her, and I can introduce her to our beliefs and our methodology and our values on building a business from the ground up without having to come out of the gate with cheap offers and cheap or low ticket offers, right? So if you want to be credible, and I think really credibility is going to be the new currency in our day and age, and with how customers are making buying decisions, you need to have a signature service. You need to focus on that group of individuals that your skill set is of most benefit to, and get very specific around what that is, what problem you solve, and who that is for, okay? Is this making sense so far? Throw some like hearts up on the screen if it is. You guys are like way quieter today than usual, and I'm assuming it's because like notes are being taken, or like you guys are just processing this information. But just let me know how you guys are feeling about that. And if you have questions about any of that as we're moving along, just pop that in the comments and we can talk about it. So I think that that is the first thing that is really, really important. The second thing that I think is even more important when it comes to a marketing standpoint, and when it comes to you starting to sell, and really comes to your credibility once you've gotten the client. I think that we have to do a better job. So I think there's credibility up front before the sales, right? There's credibility up front, meaning that you know, you have confidence and certainty around your process, who you serve, what problem you solve, and who you're best suited for, right? So after you have credibility before the sale, how do you maintain credibility during the sale and right after you have converted the client? So this is important, again, is that you have to, maintaining credibility, like I said, is the new currency. I think you guys know this. Like, think about when you're making buying decisions. How much upfront research do you do? Like, you hunt somebody down. I know many of you guys stalked me for a month, 6 months, a year before you made a buying decision, because you wanted to see whether or not I was credible. And I think, you know, the research that somebody typically takes today to figure out whether or not I'm credible is a lot shorter than it used to be, because before I was new, you know. And so what establishes your credibility to even get you the sale? Let me talk about that before we move on to credibility once you've closed the sale. But that packaged offer, that signature service, is really what will allow you to be credible before you get the sale, and really be able to infiltrate somebody's decision-making process and have them feel confident about what they're about to buy. But the second thing that allows you to be credible is your consistency. Consistency is something that always comes up with human-to-human connection. So are you consistently being visible? Are you consistently adding value? Are you consistently, you know, showing up, saying that you're, you know, if I were to go down your Facebook timeline, like right now, if I were to take somebody random off this line stream and visit your Facebook page, is there consistency in your messaging from Facebook to Instagram? Are you consistently showing up, preaching the same thing? You know, sharing your values, sharing your beliefs around the skills that you have and who that skill can be of most benefit to, right? Like and I say this all the time, this is like a huge value add of why services that sell is so impactful, is because your marketing strategy, the value that you deliver through the free content that you put out, needs to be in alignment with how buyers make decisions. And if I were to go to your page, you know, and just be honest, like if I were to Google your name, am I going to find anything online, like even making it apparent that you even have a business? Even making it apparent that these are the skills and the service, the skills that you bring to the table. This is who you serve. Am I going to be able to make a decision on whether or not you would be somebody that might be able to help me figure out what problem I have and can solve my problem? If I can't do that, you're already lacking in your credibility markers, right? If you are not putting yourself out there and even being visible to communicate the values that you bring to the table, communicate what value your skill set brings to a specific target audience, being visible so I can even see that you exist, you're not even on my radar as somebody who might be the person that I need to hire to solve the problem that I have, right? Like your consistency around how you show up, your visibility, like these are non-negotiables, right? Like if you think about back in the day before the internet existed, people were visible through billboards, through TV advertising, through having to send mailers, through standing on corners, like hustling, like, right? You know, and now that the internet exists, we have such an opportunity to be visible to the masses for free, because all of us have access to a platform, but you're too scared hiding behind the screen. But you're wondering why your business isn't growing. or you're just making noise on the online space, which used to work before the internet existed, which used to work before ads were as big as they are. You can't just be posting inspirational quotes thinking like, Jay, I post content every day and nobody's buying, I'm not getting any leads. You just doing the bare minimum with your content and your marketing no longer is going to have an ROI. Like, you're now just making noise in the space. And because the consumer and the buyer, like, we are so good at like filtering out the bullshit. We are so good at it. You know, you are. We are so good at filtering out the bullshit. Like, and I'm using that frankly, because if you're just posting BS on your timeline, it is just noise. It is not adding any value. It is not helping anybody understand what problem they have. It is not helping anybody understand what solution they need. It is not helping anybody understand why they need to hire you to solve the problem that they have. If your content isn't adding any value and being of benefit to solve somebody's problem, it is noise. It is noise. And we will swipe left so quick. We will unfollow with the quickness. We will, please stop sending me these type of ads with the quickness. Like, we have control over that now. So you can't be lazy with the content that you create anymore. You can't. And your business will not survive with you not being visible, right? So whether you want to go back and use old school marketing tactics, which are way more expensive and I think way less impactful, right? You can go back out to like sending out the daily mailers and then having to pay for envelopes, having to pay for postage, having to pay for printing. You know, go put the billboards up, go be the one hustling on the streets, like doing door-to-door, person-to-person marketing or whatever, cold calling. That's an option, but those people were still visible back in the day. And that stuff still, like how we show up and be visible now looks different. Like whether you're showing up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, a podcast, like I don't care what it is, but pick one platform, right? I'm not saying you do not need to be all over the place. I think you should pick one platform that you're going to dominate on and create valuable content that aligns with how your buyers make buying decisions. That's the type of content that you should be creating. That is what qualifies as valued content, right? Like, and so many of you guys all the time say like, Jay, your content is so valuable, hence why you come back every morning for the Hot Hustle Morning Show. Like, let's do real live poll testing here. This is now we're going to be a focus group. Tell me in the comments what makes my content valuable, just so people can get an understanding of what maybe valuable looks like from different perspectives. Just pop in the comments and let me know what about my content is valuable. Why do you keep showing up every day? Why do you watch my videos? Why do you share my content? Why do you consistently choose to spend your mornings with me, or maybe your morning commutes, or maybe while you're getting ready, or your afternoon lunch break, or when you're like eating dinner once you get home from work? Like what about my content is valuable? And get specific if you can, but like, why is my content valuable? Somebody says honesty. What am I honest about that? What feels honest about my content? Somebody said transparency. What feels transparent about my content? The no fluff, no gimmicks. You're consistent in your message and enthusiasm for your method. So I think that's important. You need to have consistency in your message, but you need to believe in the thing that you're actually selling. You need to believe in the thing that you're actually selling. Somebody said, when I apply your expertise, I find evidence that it works. And I think that is key right there when it comes to credibility, right? Are you able to get people consistent results? Vanessa said, even after investing in services that sell, your content is actionable. There's no fluff. No one else specializes in high ticket sales. You are always serving your followers, not selling. And I think that's important, because I'm always selling, but it's always of service. And this is a paradigm shift I want you guys to believe, that when you are being of service to the specific audience that your skills align with solving a problem that they have, you don't have to really sell, right? Like, you guys don't ever feel like I'm doing this overly, like, I think maybe people's definition of selling is like more sleazy and more gimmicky, or more like, go buy my thing. But when you're being of service to the target audience that your skills are aligned with, where you can add value and be of most benefit, the selling process doesn't look like maybe the negative interpretation that you've had of it before, right? When I'm being of service, if I can solve the problem, you will just buy the thing that I have, because there's a clear value exchange. It doesn't feel like I'm ripping you off or like trying to like take your money and ghost you. There's a very clear value exchange. And when you can align your skills with the audience that you can be of most benefit to, sales becomes pretty simple, because you're not having to convince anybody. You're not having to like coerce anybody. You're not having to like mislead, misguide, or like lie about what the thing that you actually are selling just to get the sale. You can say, this is where I can add value. This is where my credibility is. This is my proven methodology. This is how we can solve your problem. And then they can make an informed decision. You can just guide them along that process and just make sure that they're the best fit. Yolanda said, I feel as though you've been through what I'm going through in my business. So that's another form of credibility. How can you show that I've walked this walk? I've gotten the results either for myself or for someone else. And then it's your responsibility to communicate that to your audience so they know, right? So many of you guys are so dope in your skill set. Like, you have all this experience, but you won't show your receipts. Show your receipts. Like, the way think about your resume. When you're applying for a job, you're putting your best foot forward. You're showing that these are all of my accolades. This is what I can do. This past weekend, I'm going to put Jermaine on blast. I hope she's still on watching this right now. We were at a retreat this past weekend. We were hosting a group of clients, and Jermaine she's amazing, guys. She's a virtual, she does virtual bookkeeping and virtual controlling for government-funded nonprofits. And if you go to her website, none of her receipts were on there, but we were just talking about her evidence list. And like, she's worked for Ernst & Young as a consultant in the auditing and accounting space. She's worked for numerous like big time companies before she went full time into her own business. But even just with her last client alone, through the work that, yes, Jermaine, I'm putting you on blast. If anybody knows any government funded nonprofits or government funded businesses that need control, like a controller, a bookkeeper, or an accountant, you need to hit her up. She's the visionary accountant on Instagram and Facebook. But she, like, Jermaine, what was it that your efforts alone through cleaning up this individual's books recouped them how many millions of dollars? Like, show your receipts. It is your responsibility as a business owner to show somebody else what your credibility is. And it's not you bragging, like, it's not you, making up fallacies about what your $1.7 million was her financial impact being with this company for a year, handling their books, making sure that they were audit ready, and cleaning up their back end. 1.7 million. And that was just from one client, guys. Like, through all of her experience that she's done, easily over $5 million of value added. And that is nowhere listed on her site. That was nowhere listed during sales conversations. But you're not bragging if it's a fact. Like, so somebody said, Yolanda made the point, Jay, your content is valuable. I feel as though you've been through what I'm going through in my business and that you provide immediate solutions. You need to show how you are credible. Show your receipts. And through the content that you create, you should be sharing your receipts, right? And that is something that a buyer is looking for. How are you credible? Does your method work? Does your method get people consistent results? Who does this method get results for? This is why it's important to show who is your specific niche. Either you're going to niche down based off of your audience, or you're going to niche down based off the result that you provide. But you should be educating your consumer about your credibility, right? And there's credibility. You see, I've noticed credibility. I've communicated with you guys just now that credibility forms in different ways. Credibility that you're able to get results for a specific group of people, because my method won't work for everybody. I'm very honest about that. If you sell product-based business, our method is not designed for you. If you are in network marketing or MLM, our method is not designed for you. I could stretch and say like it could work and it could be of benefit. I have had students tell me that it has been of benefit to their product-based business, but like that's not where our credibility is, and that's not where the program is designed. So you need to have credibility in who you actually serve. You need to have credibility based off the results that you deliver. You need to have credibility in having a packaged process that you guide, again, that targeted group to a specific vision, a specific destination. Have credibility in your visibility and how you show up. And so much of you guys are saying like, Jay, Brenda said it's trustworthy. You have proven results. Precious said, I love the no fluff and directness. So some of these characteristics that you're hearing is this human to human connection, right? It's human to human connection. I'm taking the time to listen to you, to understand your pain point and problems, and I am creating content that aligns with the problems that you have, and I am educating you on how, helping you better understand what problem you actually have, helping you better understand what the solution to your problem could be, and helping you understand where you can go find that solution. And i.e. finding that solution is buying, that's the sell. That's me selling. But I'm just telling you, like, oh, you have this problem, you need this solution, this is where you can go buy it. That's me being of service to you because you have a problem that you want to have solved, and I just so happen to have a solution. Here you go, right? I know a girl who can help you out with that. She has banging curls, but she also throws on a wig from time to time. Her skin is popping because, you know, she's been super hydrated. Hot hustle hydration. Stay hydrated while you're collecting your coins. Like, she so happens to live downtown Detroit, and her process is called Services That Sell. Like, you want me to connect you with her? That's the invitation. Like, but that's you being of service. When you're like, if you don't feel like you're being of service or sales feels tough for you, because there's probably a misalignment. You're probably trying to solve a problem for too many people. You're probably trying to solve too many problems, and you probably don't have a clear line of sight in regards to how your skills add value and are of benefit to a specific group of people. And when you can get crystal clear on those things, sales becomes very simple. Okay? So I just want you guys to start understanding that getting the sale is no longer the end result. Getting the sale is really a culmination of you being of service before the sale and after the sale. Because another thing you guys said about what about my content is valuable and how I've been able to develop my credibility is that I get proven results. And in order for you to get proven results, you need to be credible and be able to support your client after the sale. And that's really when having a package process comes into place, and really when, like, you can't just get the sale and then ghost your client. That will catch up to you real quick, especially if you're doing sales in the digital space. Like, the world is just too small. People will give a review in a heartbeat, and people all have a platform to share their perspective on what it was like working with you. It's very quick to get caught up. So you don't want to just be so focused on being credible enough to get the sale, or being savvy enough to get the sale, but not actually supporting the client on delivering to help them get results and help them get proven results, okay? So your credibility is the new currency, but that's before the sale and after the sale, because what you do after you get the sale is going to determine where you get your next sale from. And that is just as important as what happens on the front end, okay? Oh, so I'm going to talk about this before we hop off. Alicia said, I always thought credibility comes from results. So I need to give my service for free at first. I need you to understand. Who else can relate to that? Your credibility, there's multiple levels of credibility markers. And this is something that we do introduce our students to inside of Services That Sells, to help you understand what are your credibility markers? What are all the things that give you credibility? Results is one of those credibility markers, but you can't get somebody, like, do I think you can get some people results for free? Yes. But I'm a firm believer that the transformation happens after the transaction. Notice the difference of how your clients show up when you give your service away for free versus when they pay. Their level of commitment to actually doing the work that's required to get the result is vastly different. So if you are a coach, or if you are somebody selling a service where you are doing the work with them, but you're not doing it for them, just be cautious on giving your service away for free, because it's really difficult to get consistent results and get really good results when they don't have any stake in the game. Because you're not, like, if you're doing it for them, i.e. meaning, like, if you're giving somebody a website away for free, you're doing the product for them. You probably could do it for free and get some really good results. Even still, but there's still things that they need to deliver and give to you. So I'd be cautious. I'd be very, very cautious on that. But especially if you're a coach, or, like I said, doing a service where you're doing it with them, not doing it for them, you giving away your service for free can be detrimental. Mainly because they have to also show up to do the work. They also have to be committed to doing what's required to get the result. And if there is no transaction, they are not committed to getting the transformation. right? They're in love with the idea of what's possible, but they're not committed to it like you are. And honestly, you aren't even as fully committed to them getting the results because you weren't even paid for the value that you're going to be delivering to them. So I am not a, I believe that some things make sense doing for free? Yes. I'm not saying that you need to be like a complete stickler out here, but like I don't believe that you should be offering your services to free in a large gamut just so you can get results. Because I think your results are going to be very skewed. And I think your results are not going to be consistent. Because if you're doing the work with them and coaching them, or in some capacity where you're doing the work with them, where it's their responsibility to show up too, I don't think you're going to have really good results because they're not committed to getting the transformation because there was no transaction that took place. You guys get what I'm saying? And this is why, I'm really a big believer in radical transparency, helping you understand what's required to get the results. So her belief was, if I give away my stuff for free, and Alicia, can you let us know real quick, remind me, what service do you sell? If I give away my service for free, I will get results. And if I get results, that'll allow me to be credible. And then once I'm credible, then I can get sales. That's that line of thought. That's that line of belief. But I want you to understand, but pull back the layers on that a bit. What kind of results do you need to get in order to be defined credible? Like, that's a question you need to ask yourself. What are the quality of my results going to be if somebody doesn't pay and they're not committed? So she's a career consultant. That means you're doing the work with them, I'm assuming, helping them revise their resume, helping them align themselves with what their next career move should be, something along those lines. If they're not committed to getting the transformation and doing the work, you're not going to get good results for you to be, i.e., credible. If anything, it can hurt your credibility. Think about that. Like, think about if you were to work with somebody, give you away your services for free. They don't get a result. And then they're saying, oh, that didn't work. Alicia didn't help me at all. I didn't get any promotion. I'm still stuck in this like lame job. She didn't do anything for me. And it was like, but the reason why is because they weren't committed to getting the transformation with you. You were the only one committed in the relationship. And think about dating or our personal life. When it's just one-sided, when you're the only one fighting for the relationship and you're the only one working on the relationship, it's not good. That's not a good situation. Right? So I'm a firm believer, like, we got to stop doing free. And the only people we do free for is Jesus. Yes, we do. Amen. Can we all be in agreement on that, please? Can we all be in agreement? Or there needs to be some sort of transaction, whether that's like an energetic exchange, whether that is, them showing for like them putting forth some level of effort in order to receive your services for free. But I'm not a believer in doing free just so you can get results, because your results are going to be really skewed and like really messed up because they're not committed to getting the transformation. And like I said, I'm going to just repeat this one more time. Like, it can be detrimental to your credibility because now somebody might be out here running in the street saying you weren't able to help them. But it's like, this person never showed up. They didn't do any calls. They didn't do anything that I told them to do. They didn't do anything, but they were your client. I worked with Alicia. She said she could get me this result and she didn't do it. Like, they had unaligned expectations because there was no commitment. There was no contract. There was no defined list of expectations on this is what's required, and we're agreeing to this through a form of payment. There is a transaction. So I'm really glad that you brought that point up, Alicia. I think that helped a lot of people who are listening to this right now. So that's what I have for you guys today. Like, just understand and believe that credibility is the new currency, and credibility comes in multiple forms, like we talked about. And it's really like, how can you align yourself? And this is what's going to, again, the things that I talk about today, that you will hear me talk about consistently. This is not for anybody who just wants to get a quick win and make some quick cash. Like, I would immediately unfollow me, unsubscribe, unlike if you are just looking for like a get rich quick scheme, or how can I just go slang my services online and make some quick money? Because these strategies are really what I teach and what I preach is really about things that can be sustainable and long-term for you, okay? This is not just a one and done thing. This is what we're talking about now. Like, if you don't care about being in this game long-term or sustainability, you probably don't care about your credibility. Like, you can go out here and finesse enough people to make enough money and then get out the game. This is not what we're here for, right? Like, we're here for something sustainable, long-term. Your credibility is important, and through those different factors that we talked about today. So if you're ready to take a next step and you want to hang out with us more, get connected with other coaches, consultants, and freelancers who are also packaging and selling high-ticket services, come join me in my free Facebook group. You can visit jerishahawk.com/join, and you can join our free Facebook group. We offer even more valuable information and connect you with other individuals who have shared values and beliefs as you do, in regards to focusing on packaging a signature service, really establishing yourself as an expert and as a credible individual in your industry, and selling high ticket services. So we can really add value to those we've been called to serve. So visit jerishahawk.com/join to visit me inside of my Facebook group. And I will see you guys tomorrow for tomorrow's Hawk Hustle Morning Show. Have a great day, y'all. Bye.